It's Monday, June 4th. Tonight, hurricane season has begun. We'll show you what you need on hand in case a storm strikes. Next on North Carolina Now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Mitchell Lewis in for Shannon Vickery. Thanks for joining us. The 2007 hurricane season only began 4 days ago, but we've already seen 2 tropical storms in the Atlantic this year. Andrea popped up in May and Barry passed by this weekend. Tonight on North Carolina Now, we'll introduce you to North Carolina's storm education team and show you what you can do to prepare for what some are predicting will be an active season. The official 2007 hurricane season got underway June 1st, and forecasts don't look encouraging. Government forecasters expect as many as 5 major storms will slam the Atlantic and Gulf coasts this summer. The question is, are you prepared? With past hurricanes moving inland and causing widespread destruction, weather experts urge everyone in North Carolina to get ready and start paying attention. To help out, a team of weather tracking volunteers based in Raleigh assist forecasters in pinpointing a storm's path and help warn residents of the dangers. Kelly McHenry has details.
A hurricane is one of nature's most terrifying forces. According to the National Hurricane Center, 19 storms have struck North Carolina in the last 2 decades, killing 207 people. And if it seems like hurricanes are getting worse, you're right. Studies show the number of Category 4 and 5 hurricanes nearly doubled in the last 30 years. The National Hurricane Center predicts we're in for another turbulent season, even as more people are moving near the coast.
I'm hearing from the Census Bureau that now 53% of the total U.S. population is within the first 50 miles of the coast. People love living near the coastline. And with that, a lot of new people are moving towards the coast too, 7 million a year. And so there are many, many people who don't know what hurricanes are all about, have had very little experience with them.
But this is a man who's had a lot of experience with hurricanes. John Van Pelt is a volunteer weather chaser, part of Central Carolina Skywarn, an organization of severe weather spotters. And he started his own storm education team. He heads into severe weather while others are heading out.
And it is exciting, and we do get excited when we go to storms, but we get more excited when we help people be prepared for storms.
He uses special equipment on board his sport utility vehicle to document the intensity of a storm, including an all-weather camera and a radar screen that can pinpoint the severest weather.
During a hurricane situation, we're able to see what the surface conditions are, both on the ocean. From a temperature standpoint, you can tap on the map and it'll show you what the ocean temperatures are.
In a nearby trailer, ham radio operator Dan Muston reports those conditions to the National Hurricane Center using a communication system called IRLP.
Internet Radio Linking Project. It's fairly new. It integrates internet and the radio together.
Using the internet and a battery-powered ham radio, Muston says they can send their reports out even in the worst storms.
When cell phones go down, when the terrestrial landlines go down, when power fails, we can power up and be able to communicate.
Their biggest scare came in 2004 during Hurricane Charlie, a Category 4 storm that took an unexpected turn in Florida, forcing Van Pelt to ride out the storm in his truck parked under a bridge.
We had 133-mile-an-hour winds in the vehicle. We had Cat 4 pressure, and it was the most nerve-wracking thing I've ever been through. But we got great data. We were able to report to several national media outlets and, more importantly, the National Hurricane Center.
That information helps forecasters warn residents of oncoming storms. But experts say that is not the time to start preparing for trouble. That, they say, should be done long before a storm approaches.
I think I am ready. I've got 2 battery-operated radios. I've got multiple flashlights, 3 or 4 around the house, and I try to keep a good supply of batteries on hand.
But the reality is many residents wait till the last minute to stock up.
As soon as we find out a warning about it, we get a rush of people, and then, you might have somebody that wants the big whole house generator or just a tiny generator, and then because they've waited so long, then they don't necessarily have their pick of items.
Here's another reason to be prepared early. Home Depot officials say that if a hurricane were to strike first in another part of the country, supplies here would be sent to stores in that hard-hit area, leaving less behind for North Carolina residents.
For example, when we had Hurricane Katrina, we sent every single one of our generators down to that area to help out the stores in that area. So then we had no generators, and if we would have been hit with a storm, a week or two later, we wouldn't have had any.
Weather officials urge everyone to stock up now on bottled water and ready-to-eat foods, flashlights and batteries, and an emergency weather radio which can wake you up if dangerous conditions head your way overnight.
Here's the latest weather synopsis.
Other things to have on hand, at least a week's supply of needed medicines and pet supplies. You may also want a generator to keep your refrigerator running in the event of a long power outage, like the one Hurricane Fran left in 1996.
We were out of electricity for 8 days. That was pretty rough.
Did you have a generator?
I did not, but guess what? I came to Home Depot that following week and bought one. I now have a generator.
Hurricane Fran is a perfect example of why everyone in North Carolina, not just coastal residents, should prepare. After roaring onto the coast in 1996, the storm headed inland through Wilmington and up to Raleigh, eventually killing 26 people and causing more than $3 billion in damage. North Carolina meteorologist Gary Stevenson says everyone should inspect their roofs for loose shingles, repair leaks in windows and doors, and cut down tree limbs hanging over your house, because hurricanes are big and destructive.
These storms pack heavy rains, the potential for flooding, high winds, isolated tornadoes, and not only that, they are hundreds of miles wide.
Hurricane force winds can exceed 150 miles an hour and cause enormous damage. But surprisingly, the bigger killer is water. Storm surges can mean a wall of water up to 20 feet high coming on shore. And although Hurricane Floyd was only a Category 2 storm when it made landfall in 1999, it brought record flooding to eastern North Carolina and killed 56 people.
Almost every North Carolinian that died in Floyd drowned, and almost all those people drowned in their cars. If you come upon water crossing the road, turn around, don't drown.
So as Van Pelt and his storm team prepare to face the season's first hurricane, they urge residents to start preparing as well. And in the event one of these terrifying storms does hit North Carolina, they say remember this, that wind is destructive, but water is deadliest of all.
So hide from the wind, but run from the water. If the water's coming, get out of its way because nothing will stop it.
Here's another tip. If power goes out, don't use candles for lighting because you run the risk of starting a house fire. For more information on hurricane season, visit the web links section of our website at unctv.org/ncnow.